everyone, it's Jess here for the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for day 6. Now this prompt was a little bit different. It was to use some of your old stash or to use stash that you have been hoarding. Now I decided to embrace both of those parts of the prompt. So my full background paper, you can see there, my light blue sort of wavy color paper, is a Karen Foster Designs paper from 2002. So that was the oldest piece of paper I could find in my stash that was dated. And so that was my old stash. And my hoarding, I'm actually going to be using an older Cocoa Vanilla Studios collection called Hello Sunshine. I have been holding on to my bits and pieces of this. They're brand new, the small amount that I have, because you can't really get this collection anymore. And I'm scared that once it's gone, it's gone. But hey, we have our collections to use them, don't we? So for this particular layout, you'll see that I made a large circle cut file. That is a Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file, which I will link down below. And I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media to my background. So I traced around the circle, and now I'm just adding some gesso right around that circle line in a big messy splat with my thick palette knife, my large wide palette knife. Then I pulled out a bunch of blue acrylic paint from my stash. And I'm going to start off with my darkest blue color first, and I'm just splodging that on. This is Yeager Craft paint, that one that I am using. And just whacking it down, not using, not being super careful, just plopping it all on. Once I've gone ahead and done that, I'm getting my next shade of blue. As you can see, it's called Crafty Color. I brought out 2 palettes, 2 tubs of that, because I thought this messy one was empty, but there's actually a little bit left in that. So I'll use that first, of course, before I open the brand new one. But they are the same color. This is this acrylic paint I actually let Jack use during messy painting time. So that's why it looks like that, because it's had messy little boy fingers squeezing out the paint. Then I'm pulling out another Yeager Craft in a Sea Breeze, I think this one's called, just that very nice tealy color. And as I said, I'm just sort of splotching this on, and it's creating some nice texture with the thickness of the different thicknesses that's coming on. In some spots, there's quite a decent amount of paint. The downside is that this 12 by 12 paper is not super thick, so it's going to warp a little bit more than a thicker piece of paper would, but I'm just going to roll with it because I wanted to use this paper for part of the prompt. Then I pulled out, this isn't actually stickles, I think it's called Kinder Gel or something maybe, but it's a similar concept to stickles. It's super old, so it's sort of turned more into a slime, like a blob, as opposed to something that would squirt out the top. So I'm actually just going to squeeze a big plonk of it into my hand and then just try and scrape it on with my fingers. It is very messy, but in the end it does do what I want it to do. It just takes a little bit of fiddling around. You can see how it's globbing together there. I'm going to just have to do a little bit of fiddling around to get this to go right. I don't want it to mix too much with the paint because I want to be able to see those blue sparkles pop clearly through the paint. So anywhere where it's kind of mixing in too much with the paint, I'm going to need to come back with like a second layer of these glittery sparkles and pop it on again. But it is going to work. And it's going to have a really cute effect to this circle of paint once I can get that happening. So going ahead and doing all of that, then I'm actually going to leave this to dry overnight because it is quite a mess and there's quite a lot going on. Oh, I forgot about my splatters. I'm going to come back in and do some splatters first. So I'm going to use some blue navy Heidi Swap Color Shine. I'm going to use, it came in a kit, but it's essentially just a watered down acrylic paint. I'm going to use a gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. I think I might even use black Heidi Swap Color Shine. And I'm going to use my white Liquitex as well. So while I go ahead and splatter all that on, I'm going to talk to you about our special guests for today. So as you know, we've got Laura Alberts with us, who we are collaborating with, and I'll pop her in the description box down below. We're also collaborating with 2 other wonderful YouTube artists today. So Crafty Meg is joining us. So her channel is called Crafty Meggy, Meggy. So definitely pop on over to her channel and check her out if you haven't already. She's got a whole bunch of stuff on her page where she does sort of almost like reviews or showing you different products. She also has kit making. She's got layouts. She's on a design team. There's process videos. There's a whole bunch of stuff over on Crafty Meggy's page. So I highly recommend you pop on over and check her out. I have linked her in the description box down below. And we're also joined by the marvelous Audrey Yeager. So she also is in the description box down below. So I definitely recommend popping over to check her out. You will find a whole ton of process videos over on her page. Lots of cut files, lots of mixed media, lots of stitching. There's a whole bunch of amazing stuff over on Audrey's channel. So I highly recommend you check her out. And if you scroll far enough down on Audrey's page, you will find her scrapbook process video number 248 called Adrift, which she used this exact same cut file, and she definitely inspired me to use this cut file as well. So definitely go and check out Crafty Meggy, Audrey Yeager, and hop on over to Laura Alberts's page as well, YouTube channels as well, to see all 3 of those fantastic YouTubers and how they created their old stash / hoarding layouts today. So I'm just going ahead with my white Liquitex splatters. I'd almost finished after doing that whole spiel. One more I forgot. Here we go. So in the description box down below, you will definitely find links to all of those 3 fabulous people. And you'll also find links to a Facebook group, Scraptember, which is a Facebook group that you can join if you want to play along at home or watch what the people who are playing along at home are doing to participate in this month-long celebration. So Scraptember runs obviously all month. There's a layout and a prompt every single day. And yeah, people at home like to join in so they can share their layouts. You can share your layouts over in the Scraptember Facebook group and let us all see what you are up to and how you are interpreting that particular prompt. We'd love to have you join us. So with my particular layout, I have left this to dry overnight. I have glued down my cut file. So that's all just flat, 1 dimension flat. And now I'm going ahead with my ephemera and adhering my photograph. So I popped my photo up on foam, but I did glue that little blue frame flat to the page. I decided I wanted to put a few sequins on, definitely something I stole off Audrey Yeager. I saw that she put sequins on hers, and I really loved that little pop of sparkle that added onto the waves. So that was super cute. In terms of the collection I'm using, I mentioned it earlier, I am using the Hello Sunshine from Coco Vanilla Studios collection. This is the first time I have cut into any of the papers. It is the first time that I am delving into the puffy stickers. I didn't manage to use any of the actual stickers today. Couldn't quite bring myself to starting that. But hey, small steps. I'm using the supply. That's the first start, isn't it? I do just keep this layout really simple. I want to introduce some orange in the ephemera because I used that gorgeous orange paper as part of the waves, and I don't want that to be random. Basically this photo is of my husband in the beach down at the ocean in September, so in winter, and it would be very cold, but he is training for a race, and he is doing his recovery, so going into a cool bath for his recovery essentially. I think he's mad. He knows he's mad. And so hence the, this is so cold face, and yeah, being a bit silly. So the kind of ephemera I've used there is the cool, sort of play on words, the say cheese because of the face he's pulling. And then I'm using the clouds with the sun sort of in behind the clouds, because it is certainly not a bright and sunshiny day where normal people would be going down to get in the water. In terms of my title, I'm super proud of myself. I literally had one word left of these pebbles thickers that I've had for a very long time. Let's backtrack. I had two. I had thank and I had squad. Now, squad was always going to be particularly hard to use. I had used it already way back for a completely different layout. It didn't really make sense, but I used it. This time around, I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to use that word. So I ended up taking the S and made thanks and was able to use that first word. And then I was left with quad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's even harder. What was I thinking? I'm never going to be able to use quad. And then I happened to be looking through my 2014 photos that I was yet to scrap and found this one of my husband. And he was outside gardening, and I literally went running out the front door and was like, would you have been going in the water to, like, I don't know, do something with your quads? Something about your quads? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's probably more my calves, but yeah, quads is all right. I'm like, excellent. I'm going to label this quad recovery. And I thought I was so clever that I was able to actually use the word quad and have it sort of make sense with the layout. He's not actually that deep in the water. I highly doubt it's getting high enough to get to his quads. It really would only be his calves, but I am sticking with it. I think I am so clever right now, and I'm loving life that I was actually able to use every single thicker from that Pebbles collection. And I love those thickers too. I just love that font. It really speaks to me. So I'm super thrilled about that. Then back to my embellishing. I'm pretty much finished. I popped on two of those little puffies. The sort of wood veneer look is all paper. I actually purchased the digital collection because I couldn't find the ephemera anymore for this kit, for this collection. So I hand cut all of the ephemera out of the digital collection, because obviously you do need some ephemera. Stickers and puffies would be fine, but I just liked that little bit more. So it's sort of fake wood veneer. It's actually just paper, but it looks like wood veneer. And then, I'm popping on some enamel dots. I decided to use black because I wanted that to tie in with the title. And then I only had a couple of white ones left, so I'm popping those on too. And then this layout is complete. I do have some close-up photos for you, so you can check those out as well, just to give you a little bit of a closer look at the amazing detail and the sparkle that you can see in the layout. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you pop down to the description box to check out Laura's layout, links to Laura's layout, links to Crafty Meggy's layout, and links to Audrey Yeager's layout, as well as links to the Scraptember Facebook group. Thanks, everyone.